the biggest advantage that I received from social media was that before I meet someone, they already know me, they're connected to me. So hopefully everyone in this room is going to be a content creator, right?
Good evening to all of you. Warm welcome. The reason we are here, just the perspective by Sobha Realty. It's a new chapter what we are doing. I really missed it last week, guys. I was on vacation. I'm really eager to see today's speaker. And I'm very glad that I'm back here. I'm very, very excited that somebody really amazing who's going to encourage all of us out here. The reason why we are doing this a new chapter in family in Sobha is to encourage all of us to learn and to grow with us a family. I do not think any other developer is doing this. We want to be a difference in the market. Now, as a perspective of Sobha, it's a new beginning and it's a new platform for all of us to learn. Now, I won't take much of a time, right? Now, we're not going to just sit and watch the speaker is going to speak. Let's be part of it, right? And let's begin.
What's up, guys?
Thank you for the beautiful video. Does he really need an introduction? How many of you all follow him out here on the platform? That's it? Can you all open your mobile? I want you to follow him in all the platforms. I think he's the first one has ever started a YouTube channel. How many of you all know this? Very few. Can you all open your mobile? I want all of you to follow. Now, today, the man we are going to call up, Mr. Farooq Said, he is an entrepreneur and, of course, a CEO of Springfield. Can we have you on stage, please?
Thank you, Patrick. And
Stage is all yours.
thank you. I need my clicker. Oh. First of all, thank you guys for showing up. What an honor and a privilege. So thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Vineet. Thank you, everyone from the Sobha team for inviting me over here. It's such an honor to have the stage in front of, I've been told it's a crowd of nearly 600 people. So taking that much time from everyone is a real privilege. And hopefully by the end of today's session, I want everyone to walk out of here hopefully inspired to start social media. If those of you who are not on, using this platform as a business platform, and for those who are already using it, to further enhance your skills and hopefully walk out of here remotivated, rejuvenated, and hopefully take their platforms to new heights. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Farooq Sayed. I am the CEO of Springfield properties. With God's grace, we are one of the leading real estate brokerage companies in Dubai. We've been around for a long time. We started this company in 2008. So not a lot of people know this, but the first time we started Springfield was right before the huge, what happened in 2008? The financial crisis. All right, we just started this company off, and 3-4 months after, all of Dubai and all of the world was in a crisis. But, we weathered that storm. We saw the lows of Dubai. We saw the highs of Dubai. We've rode those different waves. I myself was quite young when my father started this company, and I assumed the position of CEO back in 2012. Right after I came back from my MBA, I said, you know what, I'm going to take on real estate. And it took me a few years to learn the market, learn the business. But then step by step, we grew this company. And today, like I said, we're a team of over 200 people in this office. So, some of us are in the crowd, some of us are right over here, so it's been a journey. And I'm proud to say that in the last 5 to 6 years, we've really amplified that growth. And, I would say a lot of it is thanks to social media. Social media helped us really grow, and, me taking my personal brand and using it to grow our business was one of the pillars of our success that, we look back upon. And, it was a time when the social media landscape wasn't as busy as it is today. So today I hear a lot of people saying every Tom, Dick and Harry in real estate is doing social media. Is that right? But then we also hear stories of, man, did you hear that guy? He just closed 120 million dirham deal from a TikTok video. And how many people over here used to think that TikTok is only for little kids dancing, or, just not for serious businessmen. But you'll be surprised, that big deals are happening on social media. And a lot of people are not wanting to start social media because they feel like it's not, always a platform for real seriousness, or real serious business. But hopefully, after today, many of you guys will change that perspective if you guys have that perspective. And for those, like I said, who are already using social media, will further amplify their efforts on social media. So that's me. For those of you who don't know who I am or do not follow me on social media, please do. I've been fairly active on Instagram and YouTube from post-COVID. So I'll just share a little story of how I stumbled upon YouTube. So back then in 2019, not a lot of people were doing, I don't think, maybe there might have been a couple people who were using YouTube for real estate marketing. And I just randomly at a property, someone from my marketing team came up to me and said, you know what, Mr. Farooq, let me shoot a video and let's upload it on YouTube. And I said, YouTube? Why YouTube? He said, it's interesting. Not a lot of people are doing it. And we shot 3, 4, 5 videos. And I still remember it was COVID. And I think everyone was locked in their homes. And that's when the YouTube channel picked up. And, the rest was history. The closest people to me sometimes, my friends, were the biggest naysayers. They were like, what are you doing on TikTok? What are you doing on Instagram? What are you doing promoting real estate on social media? This is not a place for serious business. And today, of course, all of them are applauding me. They're like, oh, great job. You were one of the first movers into this space. And of course, as it's getting more and more crowded, it's going to get tougher for new people who are entering. This landscape is only going to get busier. That should not deter anyone in this room from actually starting. Like they always say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. All right. Just real quickly, social media builds trust, helps influence, builds connections, and of course, develops you into leadership positions. The biggest advantage that I received from social media was that before I meet someone, they already know me, they're connected to me. Hopefully, few people in this room are connected to me. They know my story, they know my kid's name, they know the fact that I was on vacation a couple of weeks ago. People come up to me and they ask me, how was your Hajj trip? I said, can't you see my hair's not like in that picture that you saw? But that's the connections that you're able to build. And that's the rapport that you're able to build. And that all requires a lot of effort if you're not on social media. Now imagine you get a lead from a marketing effort from a company. I'm sure a lot of people over here are working with Sobha. Others might be working at other real estate companies. What happens? We do marketing, we run paid ads, we get leads, someone fills up a form, they call you, you're the person that speaks to them. It takes a while for you to build that trust. It takes a while for you to convince them that, hey, I am the best real estate broker. You gotta trust me. When I'm telling you this project of Sobha is gonna go up, they hear you with a pinch of salt. Like, yeah, sure, this guy's calling me for this project. Of course he's gonna say something. But now imagine somebody drops you a DM on your social media. And I'm sure I see a few faces in the crowd who I know are a part of our team and are very active on social media. The trust that you gain from the get-go is completely different. The quality of that lead, the quality of that connection, the quality of that conversation is completely different. All right? You are able to gain trust, which is the most important factor in the lifeline of a sale. How you convert a lead into a deal involves trust, and building that trust, building that likability. You know, they always say people buy from people they like. So the fact that they follow you means that they already like you, and your word holds a lot of value. And honestly, that happens with me all the time. I have agents in our office who are closing deals, but a lot of time the client wants to come and speak to me one last time. I've never met these people. I've never had a conversation, but they value my word just because they've been following me on social media and I have positioned myself as an expert. So your word holds a lot more value, and that is the number one biggest benefit that you can gain while being in sales from having a strong social media and building that personal brand. Of course, real estate marketing has completely changed over the years. I remember in 2008 when I started off, what did we have? Khalij Times, Gulf News, that fat magazine. I don't know if there's anyone over here who was doing real estate in 2008, 9, 10, but our property magazine used to be that thick. We used to every day sit and brief through the pages, see the listings, see the developer ads, and then all of that changed to online portals. Introduction of Dubizzle, introduction of Property Finder, Bayut, which still holds a lot of value when it comes to secondary sales, but in off-plan, I believe everything is now on social media. All right, it might be your lead generation campaigns are all run on social media, developers, brokerage companies, whatever part of the real estate cycle you're in, this side or that side, you're all talking to people who have put in a lead from social media or an online platform, like could be Google or could be any other online platforms. Attention is the new currency. Things are getting busier and busier. If you can hold someone's attention, you will gain their trust. There are a few platforms that are great for you gaining attention. There are some platforms that are really good to begin with. Short form content. Short form content is your Reels, is your TikTok, is short form videos up to 60 to 90 seconds. Great for kickstarting your journey in social media. Things like YouTube, other platforms like LinkedIn are great for developing the trust and credibility over long term. Because of course, if someone's watching a YouTube video, they're stuck to watching you for the next 10, 15 minutes. On TikTok, it's just go up, 10, 20, 30. Maybe you're lucky to get 30 seconds of people's attentions. Algorithms really look into, algorithms of different platforms really look into how much time their viewers are spending on their platform. And if you as a creator are able to gain 30 seconds or 40 seconds or 60 seconds, the algorithm adjusts and shows your content to other people. And that's the whole idea of all of us starting social media, is to gain views that eventually leads to more attention, which of course leads to more sales. And that's what we're all here trying to do. So the whole idea that we want to talk about today is building a personal brand. So let's start off with the basics. What is a personal brand? It's your reputation, your values, your personality packaged for the world to see. Generally, this comes through whatever you share online. Whatever you share online is the building blocks of your personal brand. If no one knows you and you're invisible, I think you should quit sales. You should not be in sales if you are not known to anyone, right? If you're just sitting in a corner office, minding your own business, how are you going to attract new clients? Things are getting more and more competitive in today's day and age. Your personal brand holds a lot of value. It doesn't matter whether you're working for a developer or if you're working for a real estate brokerage or any leadership position. The more you are able to build a stronger personal brand, even if you're a leader in a team, if you're a team leader and you're posting online, people are seeing that you're active. People are seeing that you are here and there talking to customers. You are building yourself up. People are going to look up to you. People are going to see that you're active. People are going to see you're knowledgeable. People are going to see that you are a voice or strong opinion in the market. I love this quote by Jeff Bezos. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Think about it. What do people say? If someone is talking about you in a room, what do they say? Are you an expert? Do you know something about real estate? You want to have people having positive conversations about you and about your expertise in this business that you're in while you're not in the room. Importance of a personal brand. Of course, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And I always say this in my office, especially to the people that are newly joining our company. The guys, Google yourself. Can we take 30 seconds right now? Everyone pull out their phones, try to Google yourself. What comes up? Please, guys, let's make this a bit more interactive. Two-way traffic is better. Take a second. Google yourself, see what comes up. Pull out your phones, guys. It's not a lot of work. Now I should actually be changing that. Chat GPT yourself, because that will actually give you a real summary of what your personal brand is like online. What comes up? Anyone? Anyone wants to shout out? Huh? What comes up? Huh? Not good things. Hopefully good things are coming up. Huh? Anyone? Anyone? I can see someone laughing over there. Huh? Generally, if your name is a very common name, it's going to be hard because, if your name is Muhammad or Abdullah, obviously there's a lot of competition on Google. But generally, guys, everyone discussing their personal brand online. What's showing up? I can see some people competing in the back. Look, I actually show up on Google. But guys, the reason why I ask everyone to do this in our office is because think about our buyers. A lot of us over here are selling off-plan real estate. We're selling properties of a brochure or of a mock-up, or we're selling it off literally presentations. We generally not always have a physical asset to show someone that this is what you're buying. A lot of our buyers are sitting internationally. Today, Dubai has become such a city which has become the world's attention, especially within the real estate segment. All right. And a lot of our buyers are sitting in London, they're sitting in Russia, they're sitting in China, they're sitting in the US, Canada, you name it. All right. And they want to see the product before they contact someone. They want to see that this person that I'm speaking to right now over the phone actually does exist. When someone's making a multi-million-dollar decision while sitting in his home in India, is a little bit apprehensive about who he speaks to, because he puts a lead online and that lead is then recycled within real estate companies, within developer offices. 4 or 5 people all of a sudden are speaking to him, and now he doesn't understand who is the best person that I should deal with. Imagine yourself in that position. You're trying to convince him over the phone that you're the most trustworthy person to listen to. But just imagine the power if you can send him your Instagram profile, or you can send him a link of your LinkedIn or whatever platform you're famous on, or not even famous on, whatever platform you're active on, send that. The client sees 4, 5, 6, 7 videos of you. Trust me, it's going to change the tone. It's going to change the perspective of the client towards you. It's going to be a game changer. So please think about that. What happens when you build a brand? Around yourself, you're known, you're trusted, and of course, one thing all salespeople need to do, attract clients, right? At the end of the day, all that we're doing over here is to build up our business. All right? Think big, guys. Think how can you expand your sale. Every person who's sitting in this room should be thinking right now, if I have closed 10 million, how can I take this to 20? If I've closed 20, how can I take this to 40? If you've closed 40, how can I take this to 100, 200, 300, whatever the number may be? You've got to think big. Once you start thinking big, you're going to now reverse engineer. How do I reach that number? And for that, you have to spread a wide net. I give this example often. There was a fisherman in a village. He had to feed his family. So what did he do? He bought a rod. He bought a fishing rod. No, first he didn't buy a rod. He just bought a fishing, this string, whatever. He throws it in the sea, and within a couple of hours, he catches a fish. He brings it home. His wife is happy. He feeds his family. Next day, he goes in and someone says, you know what? Buy a rod. It'll be easier. In the same 2 hours, he ends up fishing and catches 3 fish. Then someone tells him, you know what? Buy a net. Throw that net in the sea, and all of a sudden he realizes in the same 2 hours, instead of 3 fish, now he's catching 5 fish. Then someone says, you know what? If you go deep out into the sea in a boat, instead of 5 with the same net, you can catch 15 fish. He says, you know what? Really? Okay, great. He takes a boat, goes out and sea, catches 15 fish. All of a sudden, someone says, you know what? Invest a little bit in yourself. Get a bigger boat, get a bigger net. And all of a sudden, this guy owns a boat now. He throws huge nets out there, and instead of catching 15 fish, he's catching 150 fish. Soon he has a fleet of boats going out at sea and catching hundreds of fish every day. We as salespeople need to think in the same way. If you are today catching 1 fish with the amount of efforts that you're doing, and you know people in this market that are closing billions, there are people that are closing huge numbers. I remember 5-6 years ago, when we used to be sitting, me and my brother used to sit down, look at our numbers and just go like, what can we do? What can we do to double, triple, quadruple this number? And that's the normal journey that every salesperson goes through. This is a big way of how you can expand that net. Social media today has become the medium for you to expand that net that could help you to think bigger. So guys, build your personal brand. Now, some tips of how to build a quick brand. I know we are limited on time, so I'm going to go a little bit quick over this specific segment. Be yourself, be original. I see a lot of people who are, first in their journey of real estate thinking, okay, I got to build my personal brand. Everyone believes in that. I got to go on social media. Everyone believes in that. But everyone is trying to sometimes copy others. And I think that really shows off in a video format. All right. So always remember, guys, if you want to be well known, be yourself. It doesn't matter. You don't have to copy someone else. I've seen some people, speaking English in a funny way just because they want to look a certain way on their social media, or they're dressed up in a different way, which is uncommon for them, and they're feeling a little bit uncomfortable because they want to be on social media. I've heard this excuse in my office very often that, you know what, I'm going to start social media after I lose 10 kilos. I'm like, dude, come on. Seriously. Now, this is another mountain you have to climb. So don't worry about all of this. I've seen some agents who speak in their mother tongue. If you're from India, speak in Hindi. If you're from Bangladesh, speak in Bengali. We have Mr. Fardeen sitting over here. I know him. He is excellent on social media. He's from Bangladesh. He speaks perfect English. He speaks better English than I do, by the way. He's from the States. He speaks perfect English, but he decided to start his content in Bangladesh. He's like, you know what? We were having a discussion one day and I said, why did you not speak in English in your content? He said, you know what? There's much less competition in our Bangladeshi community. There's not so many content creators speaking in Bangladesh. I said, you know what? Great niche. There are some agents that I know online who speak in Punjabi, who speak in Urdu, who speak in their mother tongue, who speak in Arabic. Be yourself, be original. Do not try to be someone else. Don't wait to be perfect. Don't be that guy who says, I need to lose 10 kilos before I start my social media. Don't be that guy who says, and by the way, this is all real stories that have happened with me, because in our office, we push everyone to start building their brand. We push everyone to start going on social media. I'm proud to say that we have quite a few celebrities on social media that have come out of Springfield as well, and I always say, guys, don't wait to be perfect. If you wait to be perfect, it's never going to happen. I had an agent the other day who said, you know what, Farooq, just give me like 3 months, then you're going to see me like super active on social media. I said, why? What's going to happen in 3 months? He said, I'm going to buy a car. I said, well, you already have a car. He's like, no, I need to buy a G-Class before I start making cars. I said, why do you need to buy a G-Class before you start? He said, I see all of these realtors who are speaking in G-Class, it adds more authority. I said, come on, man, you're never going to start. Overanalysis leads to paralysis. Don't wait to be perfect. The more you wait, this boat is sailing away. All right? It's going to get more and more and more competitive if you wait any longer. Engage like a human. Document your journey. Guys, we're all on a journey here. All right? You never reach your destination. You have to enjoy your journey. Whether you're a businessman, salesperson, whatever position you're in, you have to document that journey. People connect with people on a different level if they show behind the office, what's happening, behind the scenes, what's happening. A lot of people ask me this, should I build a separate social media profile for my office, for my professional life, and then have a separate one which is more private? Each to their own. All right, I never comment on this because, of course, some people are not comfortable sharing. But I always say, you know what? You don't want to just be all business when you're building a social media brand, or whether you're building a personal brand. You need to show the human side when it comes to social media. And I think that has helped me personally a lot. For those of you who do follow me, generally you see, I post about what I ate last night for dinner. I post about my kids' parent-teacher meeting sometimes, when I'm out there in my, in the park with my kid, I post that, I love cars, so I generally post a lot about my cars or whatever, whatever I enjoy doing, I post that so that people are in a journey with you. They're connected. The whole idea of building a personal brand is for people to be connected to you, all right? So engage like a human. Don't just be all about business. Guys, this is Sobha. This is buy this apartment, buy this new apartment. You don't want to be all about buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. Got to make it a little bit fun as well. Consistency compounds. This is the most important factor in today's age when you're starting social media. There's some people who come up to me, they said, you know what, I'm going to post my first video like this. I'm going to start here, then I'm going to go here, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this. I need a professional cameraman, I need this. I said, this is going to take ages to shoot one video. I said, how long is it going to take you to start posting every day? Never. So, and then these agents, they work so hard to make one video, and then they put it online, and then nothing happens. It's like 14 views, and they get disheartened. They're like, man, what the hell? I worked so hard on this video, and nobody watched it. So you don't want to be that guy. It's all about consistency, all right? Like I said, don't wait to be perfect. Be consistent. Once you start building your social media brand, you've got to stay consistent. You've got to you got to post every day on different platforms. Have an omnipresence across platforms. So, most people over here are probably using Instagram, right? Show of hands. Instagram. Most active platform, Instagram. Second most active, I would say, maybe TikTok. Show of hands. Very few hands. These are all the youngsters in the group. Everyone else is above 35, I think so. We're more used to. Anyone who uses Facebook a lot? Show of hands. Okay, that's everyone above 45 in this room, guys. So as you can see, the age between 30 to 40, they love using Instagram. Instagram is a great app to directly connect with your target market because it's very easy for people to DM and connect with you and ask you questions and for you to engage with them. However, do not ignore any platform. When you're building a personal brand, you do not want to ignore any platform. Like I said, there are some people that love Instagram, which might be most of us in this room, but a lot of our buyers might be sitting on Facebook. You might never have used Facebook, all right? Or you might never have used TikTok, but it is the platform of choice for many of our buyers. I've shared this story many times. The first time, TikTok started gaining pace, by the way, to this date, I do not know how to use TikTok. someone in my office manages my TikTok, and they post every day because I still haven't realized, or because I'm just used to using Instagram. I don't go on TikTok. And when the app started off, I just said, you know what, TikTok's not for serious business. You know, I used to hear all of these, you know, it's like dancing videos and some weird stuff happening on TikTok, and I'm like, this is not for me. Some people sitting live back home and, I don't know, making these points and some weird stuff happening. I said, you know what, TikTok's not for real estate. However, changed that. Someone in my office said, you know what, no, let's just post the same content that you're posting on Instagram. Just post it on TikTok. There's no harm. I sold a penthouse. I still remember this. It was in one JBR, and I'm sitting with this client. Showed him a couple of 2, 3, 4 options. Finally, he found one. He liked one. And we were sitting in the transfer office with this guy. He was an elderly gentleman, probably over 60 years old, European gentleman. And I'm sitting in this transfer, you know, just having a chit-chat conversation, waiting for the trustee office to do the transfer. And I asked him, I said, where did you see my how did you contact me? You know what, was it through a reference, or did you see an ad online? Because I generally don't post my number anywhere. So the lead came direct. I couldn't place where, you know, I started this process of finding an apartment for him. So he said, I found you on TikTok. And that was a shock for me, because till then I didn't believe in the power of TikTok. And I was like, really? You use TikTok? He said, no. I don't use TikTok. I'm not on social media. But my son actually showed me a few videos of you on TikTok. And I said, you know what? Cool guy. Let's contact him. And that's how my journey started with this client. And I said, you know what? You can never ignore a platform. You and I might not use TikTok. You and I might not use LinkedIn all the time. But you have to have an omnipresence across all different platforms. LinkedIn is a big one. LinkedIn is for serious business, having serious business conversations. All right. You have to change the content slightly based on the platform that you're using. But of course, that is a little bit of effort that everyone needs to do. Common excuses. I'm not good on camera. I don't have time. And the big one, what if no one watches? So first of all, guys, I just want to share my story of how I started off on YouTube. I wish I could go back and show you guys that video. Probably, I think I took it off from YouTube because it was so bad. I looked bad. I thought I looked fat. I just looked really horrible in that video. But guys, it's all about practice. The more you do it, the more you understand your angles, the more you understand, you know, what you want to do and how you want to speak on camera, you're going to get better. Forget these excuses. I don't have time. That was a big one for me personally. I thought, you know what, how am I going to dedicate so much time? And till now, people ask me, like, dude, you're running a company, you know, you're doing all these sales by yourself as well. And then, you know, and then you're making content every day. You know, for those of you who don't follow me, I create content, or I post content every single day. It's on my vision board of this year that I need to post this much pieces of content on Instagram, these many videos on my YouTube, these many videos on my different channels. I actually have that as a target for the year, you know. So it's very, very important. And of course, what if no one watches? Forget about it. The ROI of building a personal brand. So, like I mentioned, higher trust, instant credibility, inbound leads. Isn't that what we all want? High quality leads. You know, I often say one lead that you generate organically from your personal platform of social media equals to a minimum of 20 leads you receive from your company. Trust me, it is a game changer. They know you, they've been following you, and the biggest thing is that they trust you, because that's the only reason they would DM you and request more information from your personal social media. Easier sales, like I said, the first meeting you have with that client, you've already built rapport. You know, you don't have to start saying, I'm the best agent. You know what? I've closed this much. I've done this much sales here. I've sold that many apartments there. No, they already know this. When they come off from social media, it's completely different. All right? Imagine yourself sitting in Palm Jumeirah, sitting in a nice restaurant, having a nice dinner with your friends. Someone on the next table is sitting there, a guy. He gets up, stands up on the table and goes like, guys, I'm the biggest catch tonight. I'm good looking, I'm super rich, and I'm the best. Which ladies want to come home with me tonight? What is going to be your reaction? You're going to look there, you're going to be like, You'd probably be amused for a second. You'd be like, wow, crazy guy. He'd catch your attention for 2 minutes, and then you'll make a mental note. Never go close to this guy. You know, that's what a lot of companies unfortunately do on social media. They stand up on a table and they say, we are the best, we have sold so much, we have done this, we have done that. It turns off people. The whole idea of building a personal brand is that you don't need to shout out how good you are. When they're following you, they're connected with you, they connect with your values, they connect with what you stand for, and they trust you. So the quality of that connection leads to, of course, easier sales. And a big one, leadership opportunities. Whatever level you are in your career, in your company, if you're a business owner, whether you work in a development company, whether you work in a real estate company, it helps you to become a voice of authority. It allows you to become a leader. It builds your leadership capabilities when you're showing that you are an expert in your field. Tips that helped me grow. So real quickly, and by the way, we're going to hopefully in the next 10 minutes go over this, and then I'm going to open the platform for questions. But before that, I just want to share a few tips that I have. And this was a very important one. Not caring what others said. So for those who have never done social media before, and you start off, you come up on the platforms and you go like, you know what, I need to build my personal brand. You start posting and then you start getting these comments. And then you micromanage the comments, you read all the comments and you go like, man, some people are like, because by the way, there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, all right? Those faceless, nameless people who love pulling anyone down, especially someone who's doing a good job better than what they could have been doing, all right? So you'll always hear someone commenting. I still remember on my YouTube, I had these really, really funny, weird comments going like, man, what the hell is wrong with his hair? Thank God I have none now. But like my puff hairstyle, like how much time does this guy spend? This guy's a joke. What is this guy doing? All sorts of comments. And I still remember a story. It was my wife. I was like, man, I've posted these 4 videos on YouTube and like this guy said this and this guy said this and this guy. And my wife said something very interesting. She's like, Farooq, forget about the comments. Look at Kim Kardashian. I'm like, Zara, you're comparing me to Kim Kardashian? I said, what is it, my butt? I don't know what she was referring to. But she said, look at her. People talk all the shit they want about her, but she's counting her billions. And I said, thank you, Zara. That's all I wanted to hear. Forget about what other people say. The more you think about these things, the more it's going to pull you down and you're going to have a tough time getting started. Next, treating social media as a part of my work. Scheduling posts and shoots. So a lot of people come up to me now and they say, Farooq, once again, how much time do you spend creating content in a day? And you know what? I hardly spend maybe creating content twice a week for maybe 2 to 3 hours. I think overall in the week, I don't spend more than 3 to 4 hours creating content in the entire week. And of course, I have Anne sitting over here who schedules all of those, so she knows how much time I give to that. But it was difficult to take time out at first, but of course, you have to treat this as a part of your job. If you're in sales, if you're working at an organization, building your personal brand is a part of your job. You need to schedule time for it in your calendar, all right? If you don't do that, you're going to end up wasting too much time creating content, or you won't be organized. And that's a big issue that I had faced in the past. Studying trends. Social media is revolutionizing, changing all the time. Things that were trending 3 years ago are not trending anymore. Music that was trending last month isn't trending anymore. New ideas is always refreshing. The more you look at trends, the more you'll be able to learn. And of course, once you start on this journey, this is going to become part and parcel of that. Don't reinvent the wheel. So like I said, overanalysis leads to paralysis. Do not keep thinking about, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I want to do something different. I don't want to be like that guy. I don't want to be like that guy. I don't want to do this. I want to do something different. Don't think too much. First, do the basics. First, do what everyone else is doing, then you will find your personality. You will find your unique niche. But do not start off by thinking too much and trying to reinvent the wheel. The more you shoot, the better you get. The obvious one, all right? Like I said, I started off my journey looking really bad on camera, but then you kind of evolve, you understand what you're better at doing, you study what others are doing, see what's trending in your field, see what's trending within this city. Don't just post about work, but change it around. Even, by the way, we live in Dubai. It's the most interesting city in the world. There's so much besides work that you can be posting about that could be educational for your buyers. Every day I feel like our leadership in this city is issuing a new law or a new decree that is, benefiting us as people within the real estate field. There's some new roads that are getting developed, some new metro lines that are getting developed. There's something or the other. Dubai is changing every day for the better. Posting about that can be very, very educational for our customers. Post about that. Trust on organic reach rather than spending on ads. When building a personal brand, you've got to know what works. You can't rely on ads. And guys, a lot of people ask me this, by the way, Farooq, how much do you spend on promoting your YouTube page? And how much do you spend promoting on your LinkedIn and your Facebook? And guys, I always say, I spend a big fat zero. YouTube, I started off, I never spent a single dirham on YouTube marketing or YouTube ads, all right? Because it doesn't work. It works, of course, it pushes your content out there and you might get a jump start, but you'll never know what works until and unless you try to do it organically. You don't need to spend a lot of money on this. You need to dedicate time. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to push yourself. You need to speak. You need to get out of that little shell that you're in. And that is going to dictate and finally teach you what works and what doesn't work. This is a big one. Embracing AI. Guys, AI is helping us so much these days in whatever line of work you are. And in content, it is a big help. Content ideas and hooks from ChatGPT. Everyone uses ChatGPT here, right? I mean, I helped make these slides from ChatGPT as well, by the way. There's a lot of ChatGPT that went into this. But, everything can be made much more easier. Content ideas and hooks. I literally sometimes, I'm having a block in my head and I ask ChatGPT, give me an idea of content. Literally, guys, try it. It'll give you 10 different ideas. Tell it, I'm a real estate agent. I want to make an idea. I want to make a reel about Sobha, this project. Give me an idea. How can I start? Thinking of hooks. Even video scripts and storyboards can be decided from ChatGPT. Getting multilingual captions, calls to action, all of this can be done using AI. Of course, AI tools, there's a lot of apps that are out there besides ChatGPT that you can use for video editing, because I know a lot of people over here might not have a dedicated camera person. You'd be like, okay, I want to start making videos, but I don't have, what do I need to do? Do I need to invest, get a SLR camera? Should I get a videographer? Should I get a full-time staff, someone to shoot me? No, guys, in today's day and age, you do not need anyone. Of course, if you have someone and you can invest in getting a cameraman, great. But guys, you can talk to your colleagues. They can help you shoot. You can get a tripod. You can put your camera on a table and speak in front of the camera, whatever it is that you wish to speak about in terms of your job, your expertise, do it. AI tools are there to add captions. AI tools are there to add text. AI tools are there to shorten the video and even tell you what is the best thing that could become a hook in this video. All right. All of that can be done using AI. So we need to embrace it. We need to use it. We need to see how it can help us elevate our personal brands. And guys, everyone asks this. I've been posting a lot. I've been doing this for, so and so time, but I'm not getting those millions and, hundreds of thousands of views. Guys, it's not always just about becoming, a celebrity on social media. In our field, in sales, even if you have a profile that has 100 posts, all right, and doing it all the time. Even if you have just a couple of thousand followers, it doesn't matter. It's about the right people watching you, right? You don't need millions of people watching you to be able to sell an apartment in Sobha Heartland. Trust me, what you need is the right people watching your content. And if you have the right hashtags, you have the right reach, you have the right people that are following you, it will lead to business. Or better yet, the leads that you receive, if you're able to send your profile, it is a great way of staying connected. I always say this, a lot of the leads that we receive are from clients that don't necessarily buy now. All right? They might be at the beginning of their journey of looking or exploring the market, or they might be 2 months down, or some of them might even buy 6 months or sometimes even a year later. Social media becomes a great way to stay connected to these people. Now imagine you got a lead, you send your social profile, they follow you, they get connected, you speak to them, the lead frizzles out. How much as a salesperson are you going to keep calling the lead again and again? After a while, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 follow-ups, and you're like, you know what? I think the guy needs some space, but let's stay connected. And imagine that lead, he keeps seeing your reels, he keeps seeing your posts on social media. He will remember you if he wants to buy a property 6 months or a year down the line. So it's a great way for staying connected with the people. For me, over my long career in real estate, it's been the best tool for me to stay connected to my clients from 10 years ago. Today, I'm proud that I have a lot of my clients from 12, 15 years as well. You know, they're still with me. I manage their apartments. I rent out their apartments. And the only way I've been able to stay in touch with these people over the years has been thanks to social media, because I stay connected to them. You know, it's hard for me to keep calling my clients every few months, hey, how's it going? Because of course, over the years, your clients compound. And I think that's a big difference between a successful real estate agent and someone who's always hunting for new clients and new clients and new clients. A good real estate agent should compound his clients over the years. So if you've been in the market for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, let's not even say that long, 2 years or 3 years, how many of you guys are connected to the lead that you received in your first month in real estate? I'm sure not many people in this room will say. I can see HBK's hand there, and I'm sure he is. I can see some people putting up their hands, which is great, you know. But trust me, if I had to honestly ask, most people are not connected to those clients, to those leads. Not even the guy who closed the deal, but the lead that you received. But if they are connected with you on social media, they will keep seeing your content and they will stay connected. And whenever they decide to buy, sell, or rent their property, you're going to be the first guy that they call. Final thought, your future buyers are already online, guys. Everyone is spending their time on their phone. It is a question you need to ask yourself. Are you going to do it? Yes? Yes? No? I can see some people at the back are already snoozing. So guys, my final challenge for everyone over here is the 60-day challenge. We do this in my office for most of the new joiners who join. And I generally sit down with them and I talk to them about social media and my journey. And I always end with this. Guys, I want to challenge everyone in this room and see how many of you guys actually do this challenge, which is the 60-day challenge, which is posting one piece of content on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And maybe we can add YouTube as well on it. From today onwards, or let's say tomorrow, day after, let's say 2-3 days onwards, 60 days. If you can post a piece of content, and by the way, by a piece of content, I don't mean to say you take a picture of the Sobha Heartland model and post it online and write about it. Oh, this is the best community in Dubai. No. I mean to say you should be in front of the camera and speak into the camera. A lot of people over here might be like, 60 days, where am I going to find a cameraman? Who's going to edit my videos? It's so hard editing. No, I need a professional guy. No. You do it yourself. Guys, raw videos work best in 2025. More and more edits that you have on your videos actually don't go viral. The more natural you are, the more real you are, the better you will do on social media. And trust me, if I don't want to expose the age of my mother, if she can, build up her social media, I don't know if anyone is following her in this room, but I know a lot of people in in my office at least follow her. She has over 36,000 organic followers in 1 year. Guys, imagine if my mother can build a social media profile and get 35,000 organic followers by posting a real piece of content every day. She posts every day without failure, without a cameraman, and without a professional editor. She even makes spelling mistakes in her captions. But people love that. People love the originality. All right? People love the rawness of their videos. You know, she talks about her forte, which is, of course, family, kids, you know, and her fields of interest. Our fields of interest is real estate, guys. It's not that hard to start and talk about real estate every day. This is what we do on a daily basis. We're showing properties to our clients. We're talking to people. We're talking to our colleagues. Post that online. Let's make your Sobha workforce, your work office, your work culture viral in Dubai. Guys, if 500 people in this room start posting behind the scenes of Sobha, I was here with a client. I showed this property today. This was the feedback I got. Guys, the ideas are endless. With your colleagues, someone could hold a camera, you could speak into the camera, talk about the viewing you had, talk about what your client liked, talk about sometimes it's even okay to talk about what your client didn't like, and then try to find a positive twist around it. All right? But guys, I want everyone to at least think and try to do the 60-day challenge. And like Ashish approved right before this, that the one who does the 60-day challenge, Sobha and I will make a video with them, collaborate it with me on my social media as well. And, you know, maybe Ashish will give them some special recognition as well from Sobha. So guys, please, I want to do one thing before I get off stage and I start asking questions. I want to take a selfie with everyone over here. So can I have my phone? It's with me? Oh no, it's over here. And guys, can I ask everyone to pull out their phones as well? And you guys take a selfie with me as well on stage. So it'll be a selfie and a selfie. Can we do that? Can everyone take out their phones? One nice big selfie with this bald man on stage. I know a lot of people signed up for someone with a lot of... Wow, look at that. That shiny head of mine. I'm not used to this, guys. A quick video. Who's gonna do the 60-day challenge? All of these guys are gonna do the 60-day challenge with me. So hopefully everyone in this room is gonna be a content creator, right? Everyone in this room is gonna think big, is gonna think about how they can 10x their sales, right? By building a personal brand. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, can we open the floor if anyone has any questions?
Hi, Farooq.
Hi.
Knowing and reading the room with so many millennials and boomers, I would say, how much do you see the old school method of word of mouth recommendation connecting to the new school method of social media?
See, I don't say you only have to choose one path, which is social media, and forget about picking up the phone and the old school methods of getting referrals. Guys, remember, this is a human-to-human business. You know, I always say there are 7 steps of the sales process. Prospecting is the first and probably one of the most important parts of sales. But after you prospect from social media, which is finding a client through your marketing efforts, remember, you also have to sit down with the client, do a presentation with the client. You need to sit across the table, show him options. You need to understand the market. You need to negotiate with that client. You need to sit on the closing table with that client. So, and of course, after you close the deal, you need to maintain long-term customer relationships with the client. So it's not just about social media. You cannot use social media as just the one and only. The strongest clients that you will ever receive are through referrals, through someone who's had a positive experience with you. That is the strongest. That's probably even stronger than a client that is following you off on social media. So old school methods, I mean, I don't even like to call them old school methods. They are methods of sales. You know, they're extremely important. So you can't ignore old school methods of sales. You still need to pick up the phone and call, guys. This is not a replacement for speaking over the phone. Social media, personal brand makes the entire process easier. It hopefully will allow you to expand your sales. Rather than selling 1 unit, you'll be able to sell 4 units at the same time. Think about the fisherman, how he started off and how he ended. But it does not mean that you forget the next steps in sales, which are as important as prospecting. Anyone else? Oh, I see a friend.
Okay, after.
Okay, sorry.
Hi, Farooq. My
Hi.
name is Shivam.
Hi, Shivam. How are you doing?
So my question to you is, not every day is a great day. Not every day we get a sale. So there will be times where we kind of lose on few sales. So the next day, next immediate day, how do you motivate yourself? How do you get back in? Yeah.
So I think this is the most common thing in sales. You never do a sale every day, but you can't always count your, you can't always motivate yourself just by the wins. For me personally, I always think I need to put these many hours of work, these many things I need to do. This is the process I follow. Even before I was actively more in managing, now a lot of my time goes towards managing the company rather than my own personal sales. I only have my old clients from long time ago, or if someone's willing to buy a 50 million dirham plus property is when I will give my time. But when I was actively only doing my sales, I would not always just look at the closings. For me, I would get a lot of motivation from the fact that I did a good day's work. So, you've got to keep yourself motivated in terms of, I know last week Khaldun was talking about mindset. So it's that mindset of a winner that you need to develop. And I think everyone in this room who's in sales is never going to have a sale every day. We're always going to have ups and downs. We have to disconnect our losses from our wins. We need to every day motivate ourselves from the fact that we have done a good amount of work that day. And that's why in my calendar, I would always put some time for social media. I would always block some time on my calendar, and I still do, in connecting with old clients, making new calls. And you feel like, what? I did this much hours of good work today. Sale happened, didn't happen, it's going to happen. But as long as you're putting in the work, you're putting in the effort, the results will follow. Sales is not like rocket science. It's very simple. You follow the process, the results will come. And along the way, you will improve yourself. But if you get demotivated, because it's very common, clients ditch you, it happens to the best of us. Trust me, it happens to the guys who are, I say in our office, the guys on top of the leaderboard, I call them the biggest losers. I tell you why, because they've lost the most amount of sales. The guys on the bottom of the leaderboard tell me, last month I lost a sale of 4 million. Oh, I had this client who was this close. And then what happened? Someone offered him something and he went there. Then this client, someone else called him and he closed there. And I had this 4 million sale. And I always tell them, the guy who's on top of our leaderboard, he didn't lose 4 million. He lost 400 million. But then he closed 50 million also. So the biggest losers are the guys who are on top of the leaderboard. So you can't demotivate yourself by having losses. You're always going to have losses. So don't calculate those, calculate your wins and calculate the amount of effort and work you're putting into your job. Yes.
Hi Farooq. Thank you so much for all your insights. A quick question is about collaboration with the colleagues. Because a lot of people are, you did with Najish.
Yes,
recently,
just yesterday.
Right? Yes. So question is that,
Did you like my post with him? He posted
yeah,
bromance.
It was nice. It was nice.
And he was holding my bald head. I was like, man, what the hell?
See, the idea is there is a limiting belief in the colleagues that we have around. That why would I do with the same person in real estate? But when you did it, it was very inspiring. I'm also doing it, but I just want to understand if someone having this kind of limiting belief, how to overcome, because it's about collaboration and growing together, right? So just want to have your perspective.
See, I think when you help someone grow, the only person that would have a limiting belief like that would be maybe someone feels like, I have such a big following, why should I support you when you have less followers or something like that. Maybe that's the kind of mindset you're talking about.
So the idea is it's not about just an individual person. It's about like everyone, whoever, like my friends or colleagues. Now we have a lot of people here,
of
right?
Course.
If we start doing the collaboration, I think everyone will push.
100%.
Because last year we did 670 billion dirham of sales in overall Dubai, right? So look at the market. It's massive big.
100%.
So that's why I'm looking at the bigger picture so we can do something big together.
No, 100%. I think in content as well, on the algorithms of different social media channels, different social media platforms, they support collaborative working as well. And I think it makes the content more engaging as well. If someone's asking a question back and forth, it makes it more interesting. So if you're in real estate, you can interview someone who's from a developer office or interview someone who's from a mortgage office or something or the other, there's always insights and questions and answers. It makes the content more interesting.
Hi, Mr. Farooq.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, I do content creating on like weekly base. I wanted to ask if you would recommend me. I think I need a little bit of practice and more like training session or something. I wanted to ask, would you recommend us any like academy which they do training for the content creating and all?
I always say, I heard about this. There's one guy over here who's willing to train someone. Anyway, that's a joke. You can learn how to ride a helicopter on YouTube. Have you heard that?
Oh yeah. I thank you so
Trust
much.
me, everything is online. Honestly, ask ChatGPT, what do I have to do? YouTube has so many tutorial videos on how you can make your content better. Of course, if you have a friend and a colleague who's willing to assist you and teach you and push you in the right direction, great, nothing like it. But in today's day and age, I don't think we need an excuse to go to an academy or to learn content creation. I think everything is available online. It's very dynamic, and the more and more you research on this topic and the more and more time you're willing to give to it, the better you'll become. All right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Farooq. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite our Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, Mr. Ashish Parekh, on stage. And Mr. Vinit Parekh, our Chief Sales Officer.